And we have audio. Welcome. Test, test, test. How's everybody doing? A lot of stuff going on this week. In fact, I hate to admit it, but I forgot my brawls this week. I will take the public humiliation. It's probably been over a year and a half since I forgot to do my brawls, but in both my guilds, big sorry. I put it in guild chat, but yeah, there was so much stuff going on this week between what's happening in Splinterlands and what's happening in Atlas Earth and some other games I'm playing. I completely beefed it. But also, I also noticed that I stopped getting those messages that popped up that whenever you logged into the game, it said, hey, you have a brawl to complete. So I'm not going to, blame that. It's my fault. I should be keeping my eyes on it. And I was just doing my 20-minute Atlas Buck collection. But welcome to the show this week. We got lots of things to talk about. You caught me. I was just looking at Endless Gibbon. I think I was watching over. I got one of these. I think I only got two BCX of it. But I was watching KGM's video on the day where the set came out, and he got some cards, and he got one of these, and he was like, what's up with this? And I was trying to see, we got a selection. I think maybe we got one for each splinter of a 1 mana card that is pretty decent as far as, this is looking at Endless Gibbon for 1 mana, maxed out, 2 damage, 3 speed, 3 health with reach, right? Not bad. And a pretty decent card to beef up like Little League and things like that. And even like you have 1 extra mana to throw it in on like a match where melee can attack from any position, something like that. But for a legendary, I admit, I think that the powers it has and for the only 1 mana lends itself to be a legendary, but it's less than awe-inspiring for a legendary. But I think they will be interesting because especially the 2 cards I covered or I released. Let's go ahead and look at legendaries. I released Grifsey, and I don't have one of the beer drinking guy yet, but same thing with this. It's 1 mana. And at maxed out, it's going to be the same stats, right? And all these cards have the same stats, except for each one of them has a different power. I really like Grifsey because I like sneak, and I like matches where I can load up on sneak and just like plow through. Anyway, I got off on a tangent right off just because I was looking at some of these cards. I do want to get one of the beer drinking guys. So, and obviously this today we're probably going to be talking about the new card set. Who knows where it's going to be leading? But Bolts85 is in the house. Welcome, Joffrey Jones. Welcome, Tails. Thanks for coming by. Bolts85 says, morning, fellas. Let's see here. Bolts85 says, I got my omelet and my favorite beverage ready while listening to Rocky Balboa music, getting pumped up. If you've never watched one of Bolts' videos, he's a very high energy kind of guy. And if you're into Spanglish, definitely. I know enough Spanish to get myself into trouble. That's about it. Let's see here. Joffrey Jones says, bro, I'm having a lot of fun in Alluvium. Just minted Seer last night, referring back to Tails' statement saying that Joffrey is crushing Alluvium in parallel. Couple new games. Well, not new at this point, right? We can talk about that here in a minute. I tried playing parallel. I didn't really get into it. I've been playing Alluvium. I started playing, I just played went through the tutorial of Alluvium, but I've been playing Alluvium 0. And I've been trying to make up my mind. Land has kind of, that's like a question mark in my mind at this point, but we can talk about that. Onk12C, hello, welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Gatherings here. Thanks for dropping by. Good morning, all. Everyone enjoying grinding for the new cards. Paul Taylor's in the house. Thanks for dropping by. Gathering says, we did okay in the guild brawl. We got 4th. Yeah. Yeah, you know, miss that. But usually I don't. You know, on my behalf, usually I make it in time. But usually, like I said, I don't know. Maybe my settings changed. I didn't purposefully change my settings to turn off that announcement, but you know, they're making a lot of changes in game, and so maybe it defaulted to off. I don't know. Let's see here. Joffrey Jones says minted 3 Supreme permeation brackets so far. Paying 64 energy per mine. You know, I've started doing a lot since Joffrey started talking about this on the shows for the last few weeks. I started looking at alluvium, and you know, I'm having a hard time getting into it, and it seems like one of those situations where you have to put a lot of money into it. You know, if you get in and play it for free, yeah, you can make a little bit of money, but it seems like, just like almost every other game, the amount of money that you get out of the game is directly related to how much money you put into the game. So, and you know, this is just from watching some videos and lightly playing it. So, Onk12C says, smash that like. Yes, please. I appreciate it. Like and subscribe. I do appreciate it. Let's see here. Bolts85 says, morning to Paul Taylor. Onk12 and Gathering. Bolts85 says, oh man, I love that card. Vicious. Yeah, I really like Grifsy. I haven't really looked at these cards a lot, but you know what? The other one I was looking at, let me see, where is it? I like Shock Trooper. I admit that it's going to take a certain combination of maybe Summoner and some other cards to make this work, but I like the artwork. This looks like straight out of an anime, and I'm not a big anime head, but my daughter is, so I frequently watch it once in a while on the TV with her. So I really like this, and I do like the idea of these detriments being added to the game. So you have this really powerful card, but you got to decide how you're going to use them. Obviously, in this case, a lot of times you're taking damage in some form, so you've got to make that match be over quickly. Otherwise, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. But I like the look of that. The other one was actually a common, I believe, Mariput Slinger. Okay, no, it's a rare. Okay, so look at this one. Okay, so maxed out. There has got to be a really good combination for this in Death. Okay, for I don't know for everybody else, but Death seems to have a lot of good range for me. And this power is basically, a guy's going to be doing a lot of damage and slowing him down, because you have Impede, which is a rather new ability. You have Slow, and then you have Reflection Shield and Redemption. So he's going to be hard to hit. He's going to slow him down, and when he does die, he's going to cause extra damage. So interesting. That's kind of, that kind of caught my eye as well. So we can go ahead and talk about other cards you may have gotten. You can see these cards. If you watch my video this week, you know what I got. I spent a dump truck load full of glint. So I spent most of the glint I had. And most of my cards, like commons, came out to be like level 4. Rares came out to be like level 2. Same with epics, and my legendaries are like level 1, and one of them's level 2. So they're not quite up to where I can play them in, my bot can play them in regular matches in wild, and you know, it'll take a while for the bot to actually start using them, but I can start playing these whenever I play my, some of them might fit into my brawls when I hit the brawls here. I noticed that it was sign up day today, so here in a few days. Okay, let's catch up with chat. I got off on a little bit of a tangent there. Fusion Sounds in the house. Welcome. New name. Always like to see new names. Gathering the Magic says, my wife went 9-0 in the guild brawl. She was so happy. Nice. Give her a pat on the back. Always love to see that. It always feels good, right? It seems like in guild brawls, I don't know about the matchmaking for you guys, but it seems like one week I will do excellent. And then the next week, I will do terrible. And it's not like my strategies change all that much, and my card choices don't change all that much, right? You know, from week to week, I might buy a card, maybe two, I don't know, but I'm still using the same brain here to pick out the cards, right? So I don't know. I think it has to do with matchmaking. One week we might go up against a slightly weaker team, and one week we might go up against a team that's a lot stronger than us. Who knows? But I thought it was worth mentioning. KGM's in the house. What's up, Bronze Dragon and everyone? Thanks for dropping by. Are you out driving today? Driving around, delivering stuff, picking people up, whatever? Bolts85 says, at this point, Splinterlands has caused me anxiety with all the changes. Well, you know, I don't know about anxiety, but I'm tired. As a content creator, obviously you are too. We try to come home from work and pick out, you know, ideas that might make good videos that people might want to watch, right? And there's so much going on in the game, and I'm tired of the financial news, you know, and I classify a lot of this stuff that has to do with SPS and DEC and, you know, the Dow. I classify that under like the financial news umbrella. And a lot of times I'll put it out, you know, in video form because it's news and people who are playing Splinterlands should be interested. But at a certain point, I just got tired of it. That's why I'm kind of interested at looking at the new cards, because to me, I'm a card collector and they're interesting, right? And figuring out how to use them in the game is more interesting. I also bought some SPS and some DEC this week, mainly because, well, I'm glad to point out that SPS is finally on the uptake. So if you follow the Discord, a lot of some of the bigger guys are into buying it now. DEC, still down around 65. So, but there's a lot of use cases for DEC coming. I reported something wrong in one of my videos this week because I could have swore that the DEC to enter Wild Pass took effect this week, but it didn't. Okay, so I was actually editing my video, and I came back and I was watching the video. I'm like, hey, that gave me the option to actually continue to pick vouchers. Yeah. So I was wrong on that, but it should be like the September 2nd or 3rd patch, first week in September. Let's just say that. And the other big changes to vouchers will go into effect on that patch as well. So either way, DEC is still down. And if you're going to continue to play the game and you're not, you know, going to bail on it, you know, SPS and DEC, you know, not investment advice. You know, I've just been plugging along and buying a little bit here or there. So I did buy a little bit of that this week. Let's see here. Let's catch up with chat. KGM says, you got to be wise with your money and time. This is true, because the one thing that you can always make more money, right? But you never get your time back. Once it's gone, it's gone. See that minute? That minute just passed. It's gone forever. Can't get it back. So that's why I always thank everybody for their time watching my videos. Mystic Force. I said Mystic Fork. Sorry about that. Mystic Force is in the house. Welcome. Love to see new names. Gathering says he says debilitation, but he means dehabilitation cards are just nuts and back to basics. Yeah, and I think Gathering, I think some people were just off put by them because they've never played Magic the Gathering, right? Long time type strategy in Magic the Gathering if you play, especially if you play black. You know, you've got a lot of cards that you've got to think about how you use them, because once you start using them, they're strong, but they're going to cause you some kind of damage. So you have to figure out how to funnel that damage into your opponent. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I'm continuing to be interested in this, and I'll, you know, obviously as the weeks go along, plug along and buy more. I seem to be, you know, at this point, I've got somebody that's lending me some SPS, so I'm making about a little bit 100 to 125K a season on top of what I make on a daily basis. So I'll be able to buy a few packs here and there, you know, or not packs, but draws as time goes along. And that's another thing. I guess my opinion is I think they raised the price of legendaries. Okay, so this shows prices. I've already bought the first tier, but the first tier legendary is 35,000 glint, and I'm not saying make legendaries cheap, but it just seems like a lot to me. I think the prices went up too much, and they quoted saying making a slight increase when the increase was 40 and 50%. To me, that's a large increase. And I said it in my last video. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I think the increase was a little bit more than what was needed. But you get what you get. Let's see. Let's go ahead and catch up with chat. Let's see here. Gathering says, if Slinger was 1 mana less, it would be a 10 and 10. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one thing is 7 mana. It is kind of expensive. But then it's rare. Then if it was like a little bit cheaper, then it would have to be an epic or a legendary. It remains to be seen, but it'll be interesting to see where that fits into a strategy, right? And I'm not the best strategy maker. Gathering says, very few duds in the new set of cards. The team did well with the designing them. I haven't seen anything I totally disliked. I watched your video on it, and I'm sorry if I mismatch who did what in their videos, but I've been watching a lot of different videos this week. Let's go back. So there are a few that are kind of like meh, you know, but you got to have that in card sets. You can't have them all be awesome, right? There's got to be some standard, just cannon fodder type things, right? So, but there's several really interesting ones as well. Obviously, I think everybody's looking at Olivia of the Brook as one of the prime cards here. When you get her maxed out, you know, well, even at just level 2, she picks up Mimic. So obviously, I think that's one of the main powers that everybody's looking at to see how that's actually going to work, how the bot is, you know, how I don't want to say how the game actually uses Mimic, right? And I haven't used her in a match yet. I might start throwing down with her in throw her in a couple brawls to see how it spices up the brawl. But I only have a level 1 I have a level 2 at this point. So actually do have Mimic, so that should be interesting. Bolts85 says, I am stacking DEC and Glint because I will be unbinding the Rebellion Soulbound rewards. So far, all I have unbound were my extra summoners. So let's clear here and go back to, if you're sorting, you need to go to Chaos Legion reward, and that's how you're going to sort, and then we'll go to summoners. So I left my max level 1 actually soulbound because I'm just going to continue to use them, but the rest I unbound. The only summoner I was not able to max out was Octavia. And I need 22 more of her to go ahead and max out. So I will be looking at maxing her out. Not that my bot uses her a lot, but since the new set does not have summoners, I figured might as well go ahead and max those out. Let's go back to the reward in this. So let me get a drink and we'll catch up with chat here, see what everybody's doing. Crypto Beaver's here. Thanks for dropping by, Beaver. Says, I need more DEC for land. Yeah, when land 2.0 hits, there's going to be tons of DEC needed, especially since some of the things that they had talked about needing for land were going to be voucher spends. Now all that's going to be DEC spends. So, you know, obviously, this is not investment advice. We all say that, all as YouTubers, because we don't want to be blamed for anything, right? But if you've got land, which I do, And I haven't said a lot about land lately because all I've been basically doing is just doing my claims. Although this week I did buy some, what do I want to say? A rare totem. Okay, I bought the pieces to put together a rare totem because the prices are down. And what I'm doing is, this isn't happening every week, but I'm buying some of the shards to put together the rare totems. And whenever I get enough to put together a rare totem, I'm swapping it out for one of my commons, because at this point I have all common totems. There's a few I have rares on as during this process of swapping out rares, just to kind of beef things up a little bit, because the price of rare totems has really come down, especially if you try to scoop in and look at, every once in a while I'll come through here and I'll just look at the price of a rare totem fragment. Now on the rare totems, you need 8 parts, eight fragments to put together a rare totem. So they're at 275. I believe I bought mine yesterday at like 240 or 250, something like that. And look there, Crypto Beaver. Crypto Beaver has one to sell. If you need a rare fragment, go check that out. But I did buy that, and I'll probably have to do a claim tonight. And I will cycle that into one of my properties just to beef it up a little bit. But that's what I've been. That's what I've done. Let's see here. Bolts85 says, I know that feeling at Crypto Beaver as far as needing more DEC. Yeah, when Land 2.0 goes live, or even probably before Land 2.0 goes live, because Matt has mentioned it on several town halls once in a while, that he intends on making some like gradual progress towards 2.0, and doing a few things in land before 2.0 hits. But there's a lot of situations where we're going to need extra DEC, and I might get to the point, and I'm very into playing land, but it might just get too expensive for me, and some of that land might just have to sit there. And it's not like I have a huge amount of land. Let's see here. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I have 14 plots at this point, and they're all fully staked out. You can see last time I harvested was 4 days ago. My harvesting has just gotten more days in between. I try to harvest once per week, but sometimes it slips my mind. Only one time I let it go longer than a week. Obviously, if you let it go longer than a week, then you're losing. But let's see here. What's everybody saying? Gathering says, I bought a ton of vouchers now. Now I can't wait for the supply to disappear off Hive in September. Yeah, well, that was one of the other big changes that happened this week, was that you can transfer your vouchers into Splinterlands, the game, but you can't transfer them out anymore. And they also, they're trying to bring them all back into the game. You know, they separated them out to the separate blockchain to try. I understand what they were trying to do, take in a gradual move towards our own blockchain and node licenses and everything, and trying to take some of the weight off of the Hive engine blockchain. But they're bringing everything back into the game to consolidate it, basically. So and the next step in September is going to be the following moves: the pare down of the vouchers and the use and putting the voucher store into the game, which should be very interesting, because there will be a new card you can buy with vouchers, right? No news on how often that will cycle out. Also, I hadn't heard, if anybody in the chat has heard, whether I would assume, and I hate to assume because you know what that does, that makes an ass out of you and me, but I would assume that would have to be unsoul bound, because you're spending vouchers, which is proof of investment in the game. So I would hope that the card you buy with vouchers would be not soul bound. But if anybody's heard, I put a question in chat in Discord, and it was not answered by Royal Eagle. So that's open. If anybody's heard, let me know. Let's see here. Bolts says we got till September to purchase the Wild Pass with vouchers. Oh, and by the way, thinking about buying more conflict wagons with them too. You know, since like the last, let's see here. Let's look at. I haven't put anybody extra on my wagon. Um, actually, yeah, I did. Whenever I got that Venka, I added that Venka to my wagon. But you can see I don't have much going on. Have 74. We got a little bit over 3 days left on the Eternal Tofu. I do like the looks of the Eternal Tofu card. It's another cat. I wish we would get some representation in there for dogs. We keep seeing cats. But either way, yeah, I'm not going to add another wagon. We're getting towards the end. And at a certain point, I just said, you know, I was buying some of these summoners, and I've got 3 or 4 of the summoners maxed out. But my bot doesn't seem to use them. My Archmage bot doesn't seem to use them. Once in a while, I'll use them in brawls just to spice things up and see what happens, you know. But yeah, interesting though. And yeah, I made that mistake. We do have until the next September to use vouchers. So I went ahead and used DEC this time. It is what it is. DEC is still way below par, so I'm also stocking up on some of that because I will need some of that to go forward and play the Wild Pass. So that's another reason to buy DEC. If you intend on keeping to play paying for the Wild Pass, you know, buying DEC now, you're 35% under peg, so you're saving 35%. But also realize that going from vouchers to DEC represents a decent amount of, I don't know, maybe 20% extra paying. And then, you know, as DEC goes up, it will get increasingly more expensive to play in Wild. So you have to just figure that into your routine. At this point, it's not too much. I like to talk about it because, you know, it makes a good talking topic. And there are some people that are in this game for, you know, the bottom line, right? And, you know, it's valid. It's valid, you know. But at this point, I'm just playing, collecting cards, seeing how my bot's doing. You know, so looking forward to land, even though I think it's going to cost way more than I want to pay. Let's see here. Gathering says, loving the glint increase in bronze. I can actually play my alt accounts now and earn a few common cards a day. Yeah, I think that was a major change, and I think that was a majorly needed change. Because if you go back and you look at everybody who does videos and just talks about it in Discord, and they play in the lower leagues, I think that once you get playing for several years and you're used to playing in the higher leagues, you kind of overlook that. But one of the major points of this, the status of the game we're in right now is improving the game for people to come into the game. And part of that is making it attractive to actually play in bronze and silver, so you can actually kind of get addicted to the game, so to speak, right? Yeah. So I think that will help. Definitely, they upped the amount of glint you get per battle in the bronze and silver leagues. That definitely will help towards the overall effort of making it more attractive to stay in those leagues. Obviously, them adding the Splinterlands run bots, they don't run them. I think they have third parties running them, but they don't draw anything out of the game. They provide more match liquidity. That helps as well. And hopefully, overall, what they're doing towards the quote-unquote player/new player experience will help as well. I'm looking forward, and it seems like they're not going to drop all these changes at once. They're just dropping them a little at a time. They're working on them, getting them out. So I have seen a gradual improvement over the last few months. Crypto Beaver says, same here, Gathering. 8,000 vouchers so far, and I may pull the trigger for more. I will leave most of it on Hive. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're going to buy, sell, trade them, you're going to have to keep them on Hive, because once you pull them into the game, you're not pulling them out again. So, speculation though, right? I've bought a few, not a lot. Gathering says same. Once the common promo card goes live, a lot of people will give them, move them off Hive, even less supply. So you heard news that it's going to be a common. I didn't know what the rarity was going to be. Chris Hughes says good morning, all. Welcome, Chris. Thanks for dropping by. Gathering says when the legendary promo card drops, even more will leave Hive. So you think that there's going to be no, you're talking about just the promo card. You're not talking about the voucher card. Okay. So I haven't heard what rarity that voucher is going to card is going to be. I don't think they've even released that information yet. Gathering says once you do your first round of draws, then do the major chests. You know, I tend to agree with you on the point that you had on your last video, and I think you've said it a couple times now, that that just starting off, since we're all starting off on a new collection, that it's valid to think about just doing the draws first. You know, whatever your the amount of glint you have can afford you, right? And concentrate on that, because the chests, while they do draw in a lot of potions, they draw in a lot of merits, so you can get those kind of packs. Sometimes they're very light on cards. I know my this last time I did a full set of ultimate chests, and I got 2 or 3 draws, which were cards and several BCX of each, but a lot of other stuff. So I think if you're just concentrating on leveling your cards, I think the rarity draws is the way to go. I think that right off the bat, I'm just going to be doing level 1s. And obviously, I don't make enough glint in a season to do full sets. So it'll be partial sets. I may do like 1 legendary draw, a couple epic draws, and then a few more rare and common draws, just to gradually improve my set. I don't know if I'm going to, in the last set, I concentrated on rares to get my summoners. This set, we don't have summoners to worry about, or we don't have summoners available, so I might just spread them out, but I do think the legendaries are very expensive. The Peace Silence is in the house. Hey, Bronze Dragon and Splinterlands crew, welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Wibble's here with the big Wii. Of course, it's late. That's all right. A late Wii is better than no Wii at all. Bolts85 says, yes, at this Peace Silence. What's up? You back with from vacation? Gathering says, anyone buying the unlock cards to finish your deck? I mentioned this earlier, but I do want to buy some Octavia to max her out. Let's go back to Chaos Legion reward and summoners. Like I said, I do want to go ahead and max her out. As far as that goes, I'm going to let's see here. Going to legendaries. Obviously, we want to look at legendaries. I don't know. I have to take a secondary look at. Why is this showing Genoshanis? Let's look at. I don't know. Okay. Nope. Either way, I have to take a secondary look and see which ones. Because frankly, there are some of these that get played frequently, and some of them they just don't get play that much. Obviously, I think I would like to max out Kulu Mastermind. I imagine those are going for a pretty penny. Let's see here what they're going for. So 1 BCX of Kulu Mastermind is going for $4.17. So that's just an example of one card I'd like to max out that I don't have maxed out. I do want to max out my Terracious Hulk. Psych, not. Yeah, so I got, yeah, we'll have to take a secondary look. Obviously, who wouldn't want to max out their Izzyar? What's the Izzyars going for? Izzyar is going for about the same, a little bit more, $4.40 per BCX. So obviously, I think we all want to kind of max out the stronger cards, but Bolt says, no, I will wait on the Chaos Rewards cards. Well, keep in mind that as time goes along, logic would say the price to unlock them is going up, so the price of the cards are going to go up. I don't know. That's what logic would say. Who knows? Gathering says, I think Paul said the card will not be soulbound. Okay, as far as the card to be sold for vouchers. Once again, I try to look at things in a logical manner. And since vouchers are proof of stake in the game, you know, you have to have something invested in the game to get vouchers. I would hope that it would not be soulbound. So let's look at it that way. You know, and that's another thing. Will we get people buying a bunch of these cards and then dumping them on the market? Maybe it might end up being cheaper just to buy extra BCX of these cards off the market, but you would think that the price of the card would kind of go in line with the price of vouchers that it costs to buy them, you know? So if the card is 10 BCX of a card, it would cost about whatever price it costs to buy 10 BCX of that card with vouchers. You'd think the price would be kind of in line. And then selling the card, they might want a little bit of a premium. Who knows? And then you might have, I don't know. My mind just kind of strayed on down the branch of thinking about what massive bot farms might have. I don't know if massive bot farms have a lot of vouchers, because it's kind of, having a bot farm is the antithesis of investing in the game. And to get vouchers, you needed to invest in the game. So I don't think there's going to be a lot of this dumped off of farms, because you can't earn them for free. So you have to have staked SPS. You have to have a node license. You know, so. Okay, let's see what's going on in chat. Gathering says, Matt said in the town hall the promo card will be common. Didn't say the cost or Splinter. Okay, I missed that part. Must have missed it. I was listening it on replay while I was doing other things at work. So sometimes I miss things. Okay, good to know though. Matthew Young's in the house. Thanks for dropping by, Matt. I'm going heavy on the epics. Good choice. Good choice. Sometimes I think a lot of sets, the epics end up being strong, maybe stronger as far as general use goes than the legendaries. And legendaries are stronger, but more specific use sets, right? In other words, epics can be used in more situations, but legendaries are stronger in certain situations, you know? So let's go ahead. Let's go back to the rewards. Yeah, I just have to clear this, clear the filter. What am I doing? Oh, I'm on the market. That's why. Okay, so I'm back where I wanted to be. I think Gathering was looking at the skink on one of his videos. Look at this thing. It's 8 mana, but maxed out it gets 4 damage, 5 speed, pretty fast, 3 armor, 9, and then it gets shield, phase, which means this is going to be hard to hit, and if it gets hit, it's going to take less damage, plus stun. Interesting. And I do know skink is a name of a particular type lizard. I don't keep lizards, but I used to have a friend that had a bunch of lizard pets. I agree with Matt Young, though, on going with the epics. Good choice. Bolts85 says, quick modern ghost challenge break. Gathering says, unless you get lucky and get an epic or legendary, you never break even with chests, but you do get merits, potions, and some energy, all useful. Yeah, especially if you, I've been tending to get a lot of energy. And, you know, not for nothing, you get a lot of Bolts 85 wants to do a challenge. I'm sorry, it's hard for me to keep up with chat and do challenges as well. I'm going to move this off screen so that I can do my challenge here. Should be interesting. We have explosive weaponry and maneuvers available, so all units gain reach and all monsters have the blast ability. Let's see here. I'm going to use something that I don't typically use to change up my game a little bit. And I have 15 mana, so I don't have, wow, I don't have much. Come on, I'm looking for and okay, let's go with that. Let me move it back over. Sorry, I'm not used to do it. I'm not used to actually playing games and trying to keep up with chat at the same time. It's why I don't. It's tough. The whole art of making videos is much different than the art of live streaming. For me, it's tough to keep up with what people are saying and think about to give a logical answer to those people, and then also try to play a game at the same time. Okay, so what do we have here? Bolts picked out. Let's see, picked out some new cards. Let's see here. And of course, I went back to my old cards because I'm not used to the new cards. Let's go ahead and rumble. See what happens here. Get myself a drink. Wow, he has a very fast team. Just attacked a bunch of times before my guys could even get anything off. Let's go ahead and keep up with chat while we're watching this. But I agree with gathering. You know, unless you get lucky and get an epic or legendary during a chest, then you're not going to get many cards, especially when you pick when you're trying to build your card set at the very beginning, right? So yeah, I'm not going to win. Seems like those two cards he picked out were very just seemed very powerful. Either way, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, let's keep up with chat. I'm not familiar with the new cards yet, so enough to play them. Let's see here. I do have to do my every 20 minutes on Atlas Earth. If you watch an ad, then you get a free 2 Atlas bucks. So I try to keep up with that. Okay, let's go on with chat. Let's see here. Sudion's here. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate it. Says we should buy more wagons as we don't know when we would need them down the road. It's 50 cents now versus $10 in future. Yeah, and once again, that's a bet. They said that they don't know. You know, obviously the infrastructure is in place to use wagons for other things, and logic would say that down the road, when they need to use them for other things, that they would, you know, bust them back out and bring them in. So it's a good point. I mean, it's valid. Buy them now while they're cheap. So down the road, if we need them, you've always got them. So good point, though. I hadn't really thought about that. Thanks for bringing it up. Matthew Young says, I'm missing playing. Might put the bot on the back burner for season and take my collection off rentals. Yeah, I mean, that's one thing, you know, I have debated about turning my bot off in wild, but frankly, I talked to my brother. My brother did that, and he's been playing, and he's been enjoying playing modern for as much as I know. Every time he talks about it, he's enjoying it, but he's making far less. He might be making more SPS. Either way, last time I talked to him about it, instead of playing up in Diamond and Champ, he's playing in Silver and finding it hard. He might be in Gold 3, I don't know. But it's a lot tougher, obviously. And playing in the lower leagues, you earn less glint and less everything. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, I could do that and do an experiment and play around while I can still play in modern, right? But at the same time, I'd be losing so much. Yeah, I have to pay the fee to pay. It's just this eternal battle in my head. I'm like, I'm getting all this glint and I can build my card set, right? But then I would sacrifice that to go and play in modern. Obviously, your point is you'd like to have fun. Hey, if you have fun playing the game, go for it, right? It's not all about the bottom line, like I said, you know. So everybody looks at it a little bit differently, you know. But at the heart of it, it's a game, right? But when I started playing, a lot of it was advertised and it was looked at as a money-making opportunity as well. And they've tried to back away from that, obviously, over the years. You know, a lot of money's been put in and a lot of money's been lost as far as value goes. So they've tried to back away from that whole play-to-earn kind of moniker, right? And just try to, you know, put it out there as a card game, which is fine. I can see that. But, you know, not for nothing, like I said, when I came in years ago, it was heavily advertised as play to earn, get in here and make some money, right? And for that first 6 months, I was, you know, it was a bull run, and we were making money. Of course, I didn't make a lot of money because I didn't sell a lot of cards, but you know, it is what it is. Rolling off the block is here. Welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Let us know in chat what you want to talk about. We're mostly talking about Splinterlands today, but we could talk about a variety of other games, including Atlas Earth or Wrestling Online or dCrops. dCrops, I had to, we're actually in spring where I have all my olive trees are harvesting every day, which is nice. Still playing, not throwing a lot into this, but it seems like once every season I'm buying an extra plot of land and expanding my farm that way. So let's see here. Matthew Young says, has anyone looked at the sales stats for unlocked cards? I have not. That seems like it seems like something Aftersound would do. I don't even know where you would find that. I don't even think that's part of what Splinter Cards shows. I don't know. If you find a place to look that up, let me know. That would be interesting. Bolts85 says, I heard 50 million DEC burned. Well, you know, it's not up a huge amount, but it is on the uptick. So logic would say the more DEC that's burnt, the value goes up or the price goes up, you know, and that's two different topics, you know, because Dwayne is always pointing out there's a strong difference between price and value. I firmly think that the value of DEC is much lower than it could be, because especially if you're playing the game, because there's going to be a lot of use cases for DEC. That's why I'm starting to buy, well, not starting to buy, I've been buying it, you know, every week, every other week as time gone along. Same with SPS. And SPS is on the creep up as well too, which is nice. I mean, is it up huge? No, but going up is better than going down, right? Voucher is actually on the uptick as well. Voucher, unfortunately, is still down. It has come up since the other day. It looked like somebody did some kind of buying, selling action during that point. And the liquidity of DEC is down, so that means more of it's being used, you know. So, or people are pulling more of it off the market and it's sitting. Joffrey says, what's the arbitrage if you unlock an IZR and sell? Interesting. Let's take a look at, it's probably not going to be much. Let's look at Chaos Legion, reward, legendary, IZR. So the power on an IZR is 500 and it's times 10, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Well, we can just do this. Watch this, okay? So if I unlock one, it's 5,000 DEC, right? That's correct. Okay, so if we go over and try to buy one, so if you unlock it, it's 5,000. If you want to buy one, it's 6,600, a little bit over 6,600. So you can make a little bit of DEC. I'm sure this is one of the cards that's being bought and sold frequently. So you can make a little bit if you have extra copies that you don't want, you know. So I don't know if I don't know, you know, it's all a gamble. So say, for instance, you could buy, if you think this is going to go up in the future, you could just buy a bunch of these and then wait for it to go up. But as we all know, all of us who tried to do that in the past, I'm never good at that. So don't follow investment advice from me, because this is purely from a gaming perspective stuff I say. So let's see what's going on in chat. Getting close to the bottom of the half hour, or the bottom of the hour. Bolts85 says, but don't know about the sales. Matt Young says, no, the market sales, like these cards, even being bought. This is just my bot playing a match. Gathering says, remember the cards will cost more to unlock every 30 days. That's correct. It will go up every 30 days for 6 months. And at the end of the 6 months, no longer, they'll be soulbound forever. Gathering says, once the Hive pool of vouchers dries up, it will be hard for most people to get vouchers. Don't think you will get too many from the LP. No, liquidity pool vouchers stopped. You know, if you have, you're no longer getting any rewards on the liquidity pool. So as far as I know, the only way you're going to get vouchers is by staking SPS in game. Like I said, proof of investment in the game. Staking SPS or owning a node license. And node licenses are so damn expensive that, yeah, the average person is going to get vouchers by staking SPS, as far as I know. Let me know if I'm wrong, if I missed something. Bolts85 says, I haven't checked, but I am pretty sure there has been a massive overprint of Chaos Soulbound rewards. Will be plenty on market, but I can't say that about Rebellion Soulbounds. Well, it's definitely clear that they've moved in the direction of making cards much harder to get and many fewer copies. And this is happening due to costs going up. You know, like, for instance, the price of unbinding a rewards card. You know, to me, I'm not really heavily thinking about it. I mean, I did unbind my my summoners, because to me, those are the chief ones that'll be bought and sold. Not that I'm going to be buying and selling mine, but I'd like to have them to be able to trade them around if I need to. Maybe sell them in the future. Who knows? But the price is at such a level, we've talked about this before, to keep the price of those cards on the level with other current Rebellion cards. And for that matter, I think they did a good job. But they're trying to get away from that Chaos Legion overprint, right? But at the same time, you know, there's another side to that argument. When we go down the road of having these hyper expensive and really expensive cards and the price is going up, does that affect the ability to get new players into the game that if we don't have cheaper cards available, right? So the Chaos Legion will it'll be available for a long time to come, right? But when new players come into the game, they'll have to, especially when Chaos Legion cycles out, they'll have to go into Wild to play that, you know. So it's a whole argument, you know, is it good for the game? Evidently, they've chosen to go in that direction. That's fine. I mean, they're running the company, right? But I've always felt that having more affordable cards is better for the game, because people coming into the game don't have to necessarily take a second mortgage out on their house to be able to get into the game, right? Let's see here. Let's see what's going on. Gathering says the Skink is a great common card. Yeah, I agree. I think that'll be a very popular one. Who knows though? We're just getting into it. Great Alpine Skink. And it's funny because the Skink is a small lizard. To think of this as a huge, you know, 8 mana. It's not like a dragon or anything. Bolt says, thanks for the challenge. I appreciate it. It was fun. Gathering says, good game. Retro Review says, hey, buddy, caught you live for a change. Well, thanks for dropping by, Retro. Retro is a big commenter on my various videos about Atlas Earth. So welcome. Thanks for dropping by. Dehota is here. Hey. Dehota says, I disagree that Splinterlands are backing off the play to earn. You still earn SPS. SPS just happens to be in really low. But if SPS was at 10 cents, or people would be making decent money to play. Well, my reference was, generally when people look at a play to earn game, or I'll just say me, when I look at a play to earn game, I look at how much I have to put into the game to be able to earn this. How much X do I have to put into the game to earn Y? And when X is way up here and Y is way down here, as an investment vehicle, that makes it much less attractive, because I'm not really earning anything until I've got my ROI, right? So yeah, I come in and put $2,000 into a game and then I'm earning cents, right? So technically I am earning, but am I really earning until I get my ROI? Debate for another day, but just depends upon how you look at it. Retro Review says, I somehow managed to boost every hour of the 50 times super boost event. Nice. Yeah, that just ended. For those not used or haven't been playing Atlas Earth, twice a month there's a super boost event from where, when you do your boost on your land, you go from, you know, whatever you are at 30 or 20 times or whatever you're at, up to 50 times. So it's a huge increase to what you're earning, real money wise. So yeah, I generally don't set my alarm in the wee hours to do my regular boost, but on the 50 times boost, I do set it so I end up getting up at like 2 a.m. or something like that, to just for a few minutes to press that boost button a few times, get me going. But I do agree. And we're coming down towards the bottom of the hour, but you know, thanks everybody for dropping by. I appreciate it. It's always a very nice conversation here to have on the weekends. And we did surpass the 1,000 last weekend. If you weren't here, we gave away some packs, and we're cruising. If you're interested in Atlas Earth content, I do have a video planned for tonight or tomorrow, going over the various levels in comparison between you know, the United States and international and Mexico, as far as what level skipping and everything like that looks like. And obviously going forward, I will have more coverage, especially with the new cards and things like that in Splinterlands. So looking forward to it. A lot of good things to talk about. Retro Review says, yep, that's why I'm a free to play on Atlas Earth so far. Yeah, I haven't paid anything into Atlas Earth. You know, as far as buying parcels, I'm at 150. We can shift this over here just for a minute, since we're coming down to the end of the hour here. Yeah, so I'm at 150 parcels. I am at the 15% on my badges. And as you can see, I'm also saving up currently for 7,000 Atlas bucks, so I can go ahead and buy that extra 70 parcels to go ahead and skip to my next level, which would be 220. So either way, it's kind of a boring situation now, saving up and not being able to buy parcels. But whenever I do that level skip, it'll be fun. Gathering says, game is fun to play again with the new cards. I think we are in for some great months ahead. Game is going in the right direction. And Bolts 85 has the last, we'll finish this chat out. Was an excellent live stream. Good stuff. Time flies when you're having fun. Okay, well, thanks everybody for dropping by. I appreciate it. Go ahead and leave a like and subscribe if you've liked and feel like subscribing. And I'll see you later on as I release videos. And if nothing else, I'll see you next week as we have another one on Saturday morning. So appreciate it. Have a good one. Hope everyone is happy and healthy on your side. And I'll see you in Splinterlands or Atlas Earth or one of the dozen other games I play. Have a good one.